Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, beloved dignitaries. Thank you, honorable chief guest. Right. So we start off the day with the first address of the day. And to deliver this, I'm going to invite a gentleman who is a super strong pillar of the United Economic Forum, but also an inspiring member of the medical community. He's the managing director and CEO of City Hospital Erode. He's a leading laparoscopic and pediatric surgeon who established the hospital with his wife, radiologist Dr. Sabira. A pioneer in advanced laparoscopic procedures and neonatal emergency surgeries, he also founded the Tertiary Child Trauma Care Center in 2003. Academically, he holds MBBS, MS General Surgery and MCH Pediatric Surgery, and has served as the Indian Medical Association's chair-bearer for over 35 years in numerous leadership roles, including State President 2024 and currently National Chairman of the Indian Medical Association Hospital Board of India. He contributes to youth empowerment, medical education, and healthcare policy across national and international platforms. He founded Imayam Cancer Home, offering palliative care to over 1,250 patients, and led major public health initiatives such as free COVID care hospitals, helplines, and malnutrition eradication programs. His work has earned multiple honors, including Best Doctor Awards and COVID Warrior Awards. It is my proud privilege as a fellow member of the fraternity to invite Dr. K.M. Abul Hassan, Managing Director and CEO, City Hospital, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Taushif. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Vanakkam. Good morning to all of you. We had seen a wonderful inauguration of this summit. All the efforts put in by the organizing committee become visible, perceptible, and all of you must recognize this. I wish all of you to give a thunderous, positive applause for our organizing committee. Thank you very much. It is with immense pride, profound respect, and deep personal pleasure that I stand before you on behalf of the organizing committee of TS 2025 to extend a truly heartfelt and formal welcome to this momentous occasion. We welcome all the distinguished dignitaries, our visionary invited speakers, and all delegates and participants. The synergy we feel in this room is palpable. We are deeply gratified to host a collective of such eminent leaders, titans, whose individual contributions span the helix of industry, governance, technology, and global enterprise. We are honored first to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Palnivel Tyagarajan, Honorable Minister of IT and Digital Services, Government of Tamil Nadu, whose principled and reform-oriented leadership has propelled Tamil Nadu's digital governance and technology ecosystem to greater heights. Please give a round of applause for our chief guest, Dr. PTR. It is a special privilege to welcome Padma Shri Mekka Rafiq Ahmad Saab, Chairman, Farida Group, a living legend in the industry. As the distinguished industrialist and Chairman of Farida Group, he is one of India's foremost leader manufacturing and export organizations. We welcome you, sir. We are profoundly privileged to welcome Mr. Krishnan IAS, who will be joining us online very soon. Mr. Krishnan IAS is the Secretary and Minister of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, a senior administrative leader who stands at the very confluence of policy and progress. We welcome him to the summit. We extend a warm and global welcome to Mr. Datuk Veera Saul Hamid bin Sheikh Dawood, He is the Deputy President of ASEAN Chamber of Commerce and Industry, ACCI, and the MD CEO of Green Patak Parihad. We welcome you, sir. So, we also welcome our hero of the summit, Kathanayakan, our Ahmad Buhari Saab, who is the captain of our ship of E.F. You know, he sailed the ship through tsunamis, through bad weather, through high tides, and also leading till today with lots of enthusiasm and leadership. We also welcome one of our fellow director, Mr. Sadish Sadak, Managing Director of Inno Advisory Private Limited, and also Director General of E.F. Chamber of Commerce. We welcome you, sir. And also welcome Mr. Muhammad Ali, convener of our E.F., and who has been engineering all these measures when the time we started this program by principle from the time he has been working. We welcome you, Mr. Muhammad Ali. We have been hearing all the numbers, 40 and 40. It is not a celebration of numbers. This summit is an essential step towards turning that aspiration of 4 trillion TN into a measurable, attainable reality, right? You can ask me what is the roadmap for attaining this 4 trillion, 40 and 40. That is our theme of this. If you see the theme of this trade summit, aspire, inspire, impact. Aspire, what do you mean? We envision a balanced economic landscape where each of Tamil Nadu's 4 regions, west, east, north and south, evolves as each $1 trillion cluster. Our president called me and said, Doctor, you are in charge of 1 trillion for the West Zone. As you are from Coimbatore region, you take care of this 1 trillion. Like that, we have formed a group for achieving this 1 trillion. Inspire. What do you mean inspire? We are inspired by the Honorable Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's vision of $1 trillion by 2030 and is aligned with the national mission of Viksit Bharat 2047. We are proud to play a catalytic role in strengthening collaborations across government, industry, academia, and global partners. And what are we going to impact? The third theme of a conference. We have got a multi-pronged strategy. We are going to establish ECR Center, 45 educational institutions. What are these ECR Center? Entrepreneurship, startup, innovation, incubation, and accelerator centers. We are aiming to start 4,500 new startups with the structures of innovation, mentorship, and market access. We are also aiming to create opportunities for jobs of 450,000 before 2047. Finally, we are going to build a cumulative business value from our community of $67.5 billion directly contributed by our community and also associated institutions. My dear friends, finally I would like to conclude saying that this summit should be a platform not only for ideas, but for actions. Not only for aspiration, but for measurable progress. Not only for collaboration, but for shared prosperity. So with these 5 words, I take this opportunity once again welcome all of you to this wonderful trade summit and wish all of you a very great, useful and perceptible, beneficial time for today and tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring welcome address. and also for taking on the responsibility of, was it 1 trillion or 1 billion? 1 trillion, all right, sir. Maybe I'll take up for Hyderabad. All right, so from one inspiration from my fraternity to one inspiration from my hometown. I'm a small town boy coming from the leather belt of Tamil Nadu, Ambur and Vaniambari. But we've had some amazing leading lights, and it's my proud privilege to welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Makka Rafiq Ahmed. He's a Padma Shri awardee 2011, recognized for outstanding achievements in trade and commerce, currently holds several prominent positions. He serves as president of the All India Skin and Hide Tanners and Merchants Association, leading national innovation and sustainable practices in the leather industry. As president of the Ambur Economic Development Organization, he drives industrial and economic development in Ambur, and as president of the Ambur Muslim Educational Society, he promotes quality education and community welfare, and president of the Tamil Nadu Hajj Service Society, overseeing pilgrimage arrangements and welfare for Tamil Nadu pilgrims. Earlier, Mr. Rafiq Ahmed contributed significantly to trade and commerce through several distinguished roles. He served 2 terms as president of the Federation of Indian Export Organizations, promoting Indian exports under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. As chairman of the Council for Leather Exports, New Delhi, he served 4 terms and led India's leather export growth. He chaired the Tamil Nadu State Council of FICCI from 2003 to 2015, advancing trade, policy advocacy, industrial growth. He also served as the director of ECGC Limited, strengthening export credit insurance systems, and as a member of the Board of Trade, Government of India, enhancing national export competitiveness. Additionally, he was past president of Anjuman-e-Himayat for over 10 years, supporting welfare initiatives for orphans and the underprivileged. And yes, it is an incredible privilege for us to have Padma Shri Makka Rafiq Ahmed Sahib, Chairman Farida Group, as a guest of honor. Request you to address the gathering, sir. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My Honorable Minister, my respected Ahmed Buhari, leader of UEF, honored guests, industry peers, faculty members, and dear students. Good morning. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt thanks to my Mr. Buhari, who is like my son, as he and my sons are close friends in the college here and in the US, for inviting me to address this important and timely seminar. The best organized seminar I have come across recently, and the exhibition which is you have seen now, this morning I visited partially. It really amazed me, because my job is to visit exhibitions for my product around the world. I see how they are exhibited, but what I saw today was outstanding contribution, the show of what you are doing, and that shows, yes, we can do it. That is the determination with which it is showing, yes, we can do it. We can also do it. Platforms like this are essential to understand how Tamil Nadu became India's second largest state economy and how we can sustain this momentum. We are truly fortunate to be born in Tamil Nadu, a land with deep cultural roots, a long history of trade and craftsmanship, and proud tradition to coexistence among all communities. The social stability has played a silent but powerful role in economic growth. I would like to say about the leather industry, a historic economic pillar. The leather industry inseparable from Tamil Nadu's industrial history. Nearly a century ago, when export options were limited, leather was among the very few commodities exported from the state. It created early exposure to international quality standards, compliance, foreign exchange earnings. My company, as a Farida Group, as we call that company, our Farida Group journey spans to 65 years. We started with tanned leather and gradually evaluated into global footwear and manufacturing company. Over 6 decades, we aligned ourselves with changing fashion trends, technology upgrade, and global buyer expectations. Today, we employ more than 20,000 people, the majority of being women. And our factories operate at world-class standard, supported by progressive technology and skilled manpower. The leather and footwear industry provides maximum employment in our Vellore, Ranipet and Tirupattur district, making it a key driver of rural industrialization. One major challenge in the rural place where we are, semi-urban area, has been attracting high qualified technicians and managers. We, Farida, as a company, adopted different strategy. We selected intelligent, street-smart youth with limited academic background. We trained them extensively in quality system, machine operations, planning and inventory control, and production management. Many of them were groomed into merchandisers, confidentially dealing with foreign buyers and global brands. That is the way we felt that there are lot numbers of people who have not done the good qualification in school. They cannot go into the blue collar job, but they are left alone. That has to be taken care. Today, we have thousands, not only 100, but thousands of them employed in our place in a very dignified, in a very good manner. And in fact, some of more than 2 dozen of our type of these boys are working in abroad, in China, in Bangladesh, in Indonesia, and many countries. We were able to send them there. In practice, they outperformed expectations, often learning faster than academically qualified professionals. This is a new thinking which we thought we can be able to give employment to all the people in Ambur wherever is possible. Recently, we entered a joint venture with a Taiwanese company, big Taiwanese company, to manufacture the American brand called New Balance, sports shoes. New Balance is today the second largest market share in the world in the sports shoe projects. This project demanded advanced technology, strict compliance, high sustainability, and a high productive benchmark. When we were making our production scaling up in the per minute basis, in Taiwan, they were making it in per second basis. When we learned that they are doing it in per second, not per minute. And that was what we learned while taking over this joint venture. While partner initially preferred high qualified technicians, we proposed our local talent training model. With their consent, 20 young boys were sent to Hanoi in Vietnam for 2 months training in their factory. We also sent a local cook from Hamburg, accompanied them to ensure comfort and focus on them so that they can have a good food, not to be good. The result, record time achievement. Today they came back 6 months back. What they achieved, they were supposed to target the New Balance, very, very strict, very high $1 billion, more than $1 billion company wanted. In 9 months, we were able to achieve in 5 months the target, the production target, with these people. International level standard, quality standard, and complete partner satisfaction we have achieved. I would like to say today, to the closing message, I think Tamil Nadu strength lies not only in policies or infrastructure, but in its people. It is important. Our people are the important. We are the people. And when industry trusts local talent and invest in training, global excellence becomes achievable, even from rural areas. I also say we cannot take it as a leather industry. What is this old tanning industry, polluting industry, all the bad names which you had it in the earlier days, but that is not so today. Leather industry nurtures chemical industry, electronic industry. Today in the modern shoe making, electronic plays a big role. Robotics plays a big role. Polymer science has become very, very important in the leather industry, leather and shoe industry. Engineering skill is very important. Design, and more so in the world today expects sustainability, what we can able to do it. All these things comes within the leather industry, and that is why this is going to be an answer to the world, and India will rule the leather in the next 5 to 7 years. We see that India will achieve #1 position, beating Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, and other countries. I am very hopeful that these interventions like E.F is doing by Ahmad Buhari will give impetus, will give challenges to the young entrepreneurs to shine in the future. You will give them inspiration. I thank once again for inviting me, Ahmad Buhari. Thank you.
As always, it is an inspiration to hear you, sir, and you are indeed a valuable member of our community and a leading light that we all look up to. Thank you, sir. UEF is supported not only by national leaders, but by global leaders. And we have one such international guest of honor with us today. Datuk Weera Shahul Hamid bin Sheikh Dawood is the Deputy President of ASEAN, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the MD and CEO of Green Packet Berhad. He's an accomplished leader with over 30 years of experience across entrepreneurial, public, and corporate sectors. He currently serves as Managing Director and Group CEO of Green Packet Berhad, steering its transformation into an innovation-driven, purpose-led organization. Formerly the Chief Executive of HRD Corp, he spearheaded nationwide talent development initiatives, digital transformation, governance strengthening, and substantial growth in assets under management. He also contributes regionally as the Deputy President of the ASEAN Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and academically as an adjunct professor at University Malaya. He is pursuing a doctorate in business administration and holds an MBA from the University of Gloucestershire. Renowned for building high-trust cross-sector partnerships, he champions inclusivity, collaboration, and impact-driven leadership. It is my proud privilege to welcome Datuk Weera Shahul Hamid bin Sheikh Dawood to deliver our International Guest of Honor address. Sir, big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. A very good morning to all the dignitaries who are gathered here this morning for the United Economic Forum 2025. Thank you, Master of Ceremony, for the great introduction. First and foremost, I want to say a special thanks to our brother, always a family, Brother Ahmad Buhari, for giving me the opportunity to come and speak today and to be part of UF. I also want to convey my special thanks from the ASEAN Chamber of Commerce, also from the Malaysia Indian Muslim Chamber of Commerce, for always making sure that inclusivity is taken care, and this UF is just not only for people in Tamil Nadu, it has also been extended outside Tamil Nadu. Thank you, sir, and I'm sure that you will continue to do this in the near future as well. I just want to recall my memory of attending UF, if I'm not mistaken, 10 years ago, and Malaysia had the largest delegate for UF when it was in 2015. And I cannot believe in 10 years' time, UF have grown so big, but that shouldn't be a surprise when anything that is associated with Ahmad Buhari, nothing comes small. It's always bigger, bolder, and better in the near future. And please give a big round of applause for driving this. Honorable Minister of Information Technology and Digital Services, Dr. Palnivel Tyagarajan, sir, thank you so much once again. It is always a pleasure to catch up with you. I had the opportunity of visiting Honorable Minister in his good office when my minister, Dato Sri Sarvan, and Human Resource Minister, we had a courtesy visit. This is the kind of minister that every state wanted to have, with a strong wife, very positive man, always been welcoming international people to come and do things with in Tamil Nadu. I just had a 1-minute chat with the Honorable Minister just now, because I'm not only the Deputy President of ASEAN Chamber of Commerce, I head one of the largest fintech company in Malaysia. We are the largest fintech company driving the payment gateway and e-wallet services in Malaysia. I just had a quick chat and I said to the Minister, sir, most probably we'll be considering Trichy or Coimbatore to house our development office in 2026 in Tamil Nadu. The immediate response from the Minister was, why not you consider Madurai? This is the kind of Minister that every state would like to have, and very friendly and easy approachable. Certainly, sir, with your, welcome, I think we will consider Madurai to house of development. Ladies and gentlemen, I think, UF is one of the platforms that everybody globally look out for today. And we can see only Ahmad Buhari has this kind of guts and drive that can take nothing in billions, only in trillions these days. When I came in yesterday, I was seeing the setup and I saw 4TN for 4TN. It took some time for me to understand what does it mean 4TN for 4TN. Then this morning I got the answer for it, 4 trillion for Tamil Nadu. So I think Ahmad Bhai, 4 trillion is very challenging, but you have taken the task, you have taken the challenge. But I just wanted to offer that ASEAN is a 700 million population, and ASEAN is one of the 5th largest. If you put ASEAN as one single country, this is the 5th largest economy in the world, with an annual growth of 5% every year. I'm certain that UAF collaborating things together with ASEAN in the near future, that we could do wonderful things, as ASEAN is the powerhouse of manufacturing and services. And we are certainly able to bring in larger services, larger manufacturing opportunities to Tamil Nadu under the platform of United Economic Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is a 34 million population, and we are one of the largest, we are one of the friendliest nation in ASEAN when it comes to foreign investment. Malaysia had the pride and the privilege of hosting one of the largest data centers in the country. In fact, in the year 2024-2025, Malaysia housed many largest data centers, and it has become the powerhouse of data center, Malaysia. So I'm certain not only ASEAN, Malaysia can collaborate in a larger platform with United Economic Forum in many aspects, especially in the banking sector, the service industry, manufacturing industry, and Malaysia is well known for manufacturing. A lot of many microchips, solutions are being built in Malaysia. We are certainly happy to collaborate that in United Economic Forum as well. And ASEAN, MIMCON, Malaysian Indian Muslim Chamber of Commerce, which has close to 44 sectors of members, with almost 200 members in Malaysian Indian Muslim Chamber of Commerce, is also a privilege to be a part of UF partner, and we will continue to work together with UF. Last but not least, and I'm also happy to welcome some of the Malaysian delegates who are here. Haji Rafi Hanif, the leading banker in the country, a man well known, respected for Islamic and Sharia banker, is here. Thank you, Rafi Bhai, being here. And also my brother Hamdan, and the Secretary General of MIMCON, Malaysian Indian Muslim Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Dylan, is here as well. So once again, Buhari Bhai, thank you so much for having us. We will continue. I had given the privilege, invited Buhari Bhai to do UF next time in Malaysia, so you can bring in more opportunities through ASEAN Gateway to Tamil Nadu. Once again, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much. Yeah.
A tall leader indeed. Sir, thank you so much for being kind enough to offer UEF the bridge towards ASEAN and more. Thank you. Pleasure, sir. Yes, our beloved and honorable chief guest is on the clock and has many more important gatherings to attend. So without any further ado, I would request sir to kindly felicitate our guests of honor and do the honor, sir. First and foremost, Padma Shri Makkah Rafiq Ahmed Sahib, Chairman Farida Group. Sir, could you kindly do the honors and felicitate our beloved guest of honor. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please, for these honored dignitaries. It's our privilege to indeed have them here with us today. They are very, very tall leaders of our community and strong supporters of our growth. Thank you. Datuk Veera Shahul Hamid bin Sheikh Dawood, Deputy President ASEAN, Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Sir, I request you to felicitate our international guest of honor. I now request our beloved President, UEF, Mr. Ahmed Buhari, sir, to kindly honor our honorable chief guest, felicitate him with a token of appreciation. Our beloved chief guest, Dr. Palanivel Thiagarajan, Honorable Minister for IT and Digital Services, Government of Tamil Nadu. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I request all our dignitaries to please be seated. Thank you. Now comes the moment we've been waiting for. I missed this opportunity recently at the World Resuscitation Congress to be able to hear from our honorable chief guest. I missed that thanks to the fiasco that was happening with our travel over the last week, so I couldn't attend. But now it's my proud privilege to be here and be able to listen. Let me quickly introduce our honorable chief guest to you before I invite him to the dais. Dr. Palanivel Thiagarajan is the current Minister for Information Technology and Digital Services in the Government of Tamil Nadu. He previously served as the Minister for Finance and Human Resources Management. As Finance Minister, he represented Tamil Nadu in the GST Council and served on its group of ministers for system reforms and gaming regulation. Elected as an MLA from Madurai Central in 2016 and re-elected in 2021, he has contributed to various legislative committees, including the Public Accounts Committee. He also served as the founding secretary of the DMK's IT wing, leading the party's digital initiatives before stepping down in 2022 to focus on ministerial duties. Before politics, he had a successful global career in investment banking with Lehman Brothers and Standard Chartered Bank, holding senior roles in financial markets. His professional background also includes experience in academia, agriculture, consulting, and manufacturing. He holds a BTech from NIT Trichy, an MS and PhD from the State University of New York, and an MBA from MIT Sloan. A fourth-generation member of the Dravidian movement, He follows in the political footsteps of his father and grandfather, both prominent leaders in Tamil Nadu's political history. A much-loved, erudite speaker, always on the money, giving rare insights which are valuable gems. Sir, it is a privilege for us to hear you speak. We welcome our honorable chief guest to deliver the address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I hope I will have enough to add of insight after listening to such wonderful speeches already this morning. But let me start by greeting my good friend, President of the UEF, Thiru Ahmed Buhari, the guest of honor, Padma Shri Mecca Rafiq Ahmed, the Chairman for Ida Group, the international guest of honor, Dr. Kuira Shaul Dawood, who has also given us an insightful address, the officers of the UEF, including Dr. K.M. Abul Hassan, Managing Director and CEO of City Hospital, who gave us the welcome address, and we are yet to hear from Mr. Sajid Satak, Managing Director, Inno Advisory, and the Director General of UEF. And last but not least, my former colleague in the Finance Ministry of Tamil Nadu, the current Union Secretary for the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, through S. Krishnan, and of course, the many dignitaries on and off the dais, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and thank you very much for the opportunity to address you at this very creatively and boldly titled 4TN 4TN. I must start by saying that there's a little bit of history to this. Ahmed Buhari and I go back some time, and he had come to see me a few years ago. Then we started with my engagement at the UEF last year. And I must point out that the scale was probably a third or a fourth of this. So already he has scaled the convention, the conference up by 4x or so in 1 year. And if I go back, I'm sure many years it's even higher. So it's not surprising that his ambitions go up by multiples every year. When we had this conversation, he said, do you think it's realistic? Can we get to 4 trillion, starting at somewhere around 400 billion at this point? And of course, the math is the math, right? Mathematically, as I'm sure has been mentioned many times, what is required is all else equal, because when you set goals in dollars, you also have to worry about foreign exchange rates, relative inflation, global patterns out of your control. But all else equal, it's a growth rate, real growth rate of about 9% a year. Now that's an enviable target. It's not an easily achievable target, but it is very clearly a doable target. And if we just take two instances, which is in the last year, Tamil Nadu has grown at 11.19% real growth. More importantly, if you go back to 2006 to 11, when we had a DMK government, despite the global financial crisis, the compound annual growth rate for those 5 years was slightly north of 10%. So mathematically speaking, 9% is easily achievable. Now, of course, ministers like me normally should come and tell you all the great things that the government is doing, particularly because it's closer to election. But since I know that other colleagues of mine have already come and spoken here, I'll assume that they have already briefed you about many of these initiatives. And what I'd like to do instead is talk a little bit about what makes us unique, what the opportunity set is in front of us, and what is it that we need to do better than we have been doing if we really want to achieve a compound growth rate of 9% a year for the next 20 years. At least my thoughts on that. What makes us unique, I think many have touched upon, including Padma Shri Mecca Rafiq Ahmed. We are a society that is relatively equitable. that has relatively high inclusion, that has relative harmony, and that focuses on education as a measure of progress, and therefore has achieved unparalleled rates, at least for any large state, in terms of both average education levels, which is slightly above high school now, as well as gross enrollment in tertiary education, which is right now about 50%, which is far, far higher than the national average. But what I think is more important than all of that is that we have these kinds of organizations and events that not only do we encourage and ask them to flourish, but we take cues from them. They lead sometimes. And I think we need thinkers like that to really drive outcomes, because my experience is that governments are good at some things, but governments are also not very good at some other things, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But if you look at it from the broader perspective, I think many of you may have seen a recent article in The Economist magazine, which talked about which is India's best state or something like that, which is India's mightiest state. And it compared, in proximate example, it compared the state of Gujarat and the state of Tamil Nadu. Now I must confess publicly something I haven't said before, which is that I was interviewed for that article, and I had the unique distinction of being interviewed twice for the same article. Once when the reporter landed in Chennai, and then once 10 days later, after the reporter had done their work over 10 days. And in the gap, I saw the evolution of the understanding of what is it that makes TN unique, and all these variables I've said. And because of that, I think the article, which otherwise would have been a relatively shallow article that talked about 11.19% one particular year, actually ended up being a much more thoughtful, deep article talking about the decades of advantage, not 1 year, not one government, but the decades of advantage that we have built as a state, as a community, by having the values that we have had, by having the social justice movement, by having freedom of religion truly in practice, and by having the social harmony and equitable access that we have all championed. And so the article concluded by saying that while Gujarat has built much better infrastructure, much more energy generation, much more, industrial investment, and I would add, directed by the government of India, in fact, Tamil Nadu's greatest strength was that we have built human capital, and that human capital can adapt to whatever the situation requires. And that is certainly a competitive advantage. I say that in the context of two other things. If you look back to the organization of the states in 1952, after independence, after becoming a republic and running the first elections, actually the South, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, were among the poorest in India. You fast forward now 75 years, and we are certainly among the richest, with the best human development, the best social development, the best educational outcomes, etc., etc. And what that has been really driven by is that whenever the inflection points came, whether it was the 1990 reforms and liberalization, whether it was the acceleration of globalization starting after 2000, 2005, 2008, whether it is now the shift to an AI-driven and a breaking of the hyper-globalization era, in every aspect, having the right people with the right skills and the right approach really is the single competitive defining advantage. In that sense, we are today at a very interesting inflection point. Probably the world order determined since 1945, a US-centric, dollar-denominated, increasing global organizations, starting with the UN, going through the WTO, the kind of one platform global transfer of capital, transfer of services through the internet, all of that seems to be reaching the end of its natural life cycle. We are in an increasingly fractured world. Trade agreements are breaking down, trade barriers are being put up. The WTO's once supreme diktat power no longer seems to hold. And we are now in an era, and these eras tend to last 30, 40, 50 years. They're not blips on time, 2 or 3 years. We are in an era of deglobalization. We must remember that globalization is not secular, it's not asymptotic, it doesn't always increase. If you look at the history of civilization, the era of the great Roman Empire was one of great globalization. Then there was fragmentation. The era of colonialism was one of great globalization. Then with independence and different self-governance, there was fragmentation. The era of post-war and post-Bretton Woods and post-UN was an era of increasing globalization, particularly post-WTO. But we are now in an era of fragmentation. We are starting to see many more bilateral trade agreements, many more regional trade agreements, many Western economies deathly afraid of China because China has taken their intellectual capital and tooled up in a way that China is such an economic superpower, including in things like AI, where an open source DeepSeek can do at a fraction of the cost what a much higher funded closed technology like OpenAI cannot do. And so in this era, we need to really think about what is it that we should focus on that gets us to the 9% real CAGR that will take us to 4 trillion. And my own view is that in politics and in governance, all too often we follow this adage, don't let the great be the enemy of the good. Very often we do things that are incremental, that are in keeping with the status quo, in kicking the can down the road. Big problems are not addressed like debt ratios, so forth. And sooner or later they become crises, and only then they start getting addressed. It is the nature of politics, it is the nature of bureaucracy that incremental change in status quo is the default. But I think in this era, when we have 2 or 3 great advantages, we have phenomenal advantages. The prime example is that Tamil Nadu's manufactured electronics goods export has gone up more than 700% in less than 4 years. Now, as brilliant as we say we are, or we'd like to think we are, surely there are global trends that are driving the shift away from China that we are benefiting from. But this is just the beginning. This is not a 1-year trend, this is not a 3-year trend, this is not a 5-year trend. This is going to be a 2-decade trend, much like the rise of China was a 3-decade trend. So what we need to think about is there is going to be huge global opportunity that arises from the end of an era that was 1990 to 2020, let's say 23 era, COVID, from 1990 to COVID. And now we have a new era where the world is looking for great alternatives in great scale, and we need to benefit from it. The second is that the demographics of the world have reached a very clear inflection point. At this point, roughly 1 in 6 human beings alive is of Indian origin. That's a remarkable number. Just think about in the history of civilization when the last time that was. If you take out the aging populations of the West, of China, where the population has been decreasing, the gross population has been decreasing 2 to 3 million a year for the last few years because of the decades of one-child policy. Then you say that of the working age population, roughly 1 in 5 people is Indian, of Indian origin somewhere in the world. Now you take out those parts of Africa where there are high birth rates, but they don't have access to basic nutrition or basic education, and therefore the likelihood that they will become productive members of society in any globally competitive or regionally competitive or free trade within any kind of small bloc or large bloc is very low. Therefore, of the realistic workforce of the world for the next 20 years, for the next generation, roughly 25% is going to be Indian. And in that, Tamil Nadu is going to have hugely outsized proportion of the skilled workforce. These are the two biggest variables in our favor. They are macro trends that we cannot engineer, we cannot take credit for, but as they say in the markets, timing is everything. In this juncture, when we are with this huge resource of young people and when the world is coming our way, we have to be with foresight, we have to be visionary, we have to be disruptive, we have to think long term. And that is the only way we can get to see 2 or 3 decades of 9% real growth and get to 4 trillion for Tamil Nadu. And what that will require, I think, in my humble view, first is to profoundly rethink the nature of education and the delivery of education in an era, in an age where machines will be able to do a lot of things, white-collar jobs, a lot of clerical things, a lot of mundane things, a lot of programming things that used to be done by human beings. I've said it in many places, I'll repeat it here. We need to refocus our educational approach on what is it that makes humans unique? What is it that humans are uniquely good to do in an era where machines can do almost anything? And I often give the analogy that in the next 20 years, the world of technology, AI, software is going to become what has happened in the last 20 years in manufacturing. I used to be a consultant in the manufacturing sector in the United States, let's say late 80s to early 2000s. We saw automation coming. We knew it was going to happen. We saw jobs go down. We saw wages go down. But the effect today, 2025, if I look over a 40-year period, in an assembly line where there used to be 100 human beings working, on average there are less than 10 people now. In some cases there are 0, 100% is automated. In some cases the factory doesn't even need to have the light on because the robots are working on infrared sensing and they don't need electricity to have the vision work. That's how dramatic the change has been in automation in manufacturing. We will see something like that in something like that time frame. It will take 30, 40 years. So our job is to first equip our greatest resource, which is our human talent, for that era increasingly over the next generation or two. Second, we need bold ideas. We need to start doing things that are not incremental, that are not focused on the next election, that are not focused on kicking the can down the road, but really have the courage to think long term and do profound change, because there is no great difference in outcome with incremental change. You want fantastically different outcomes, you need to do many, many things very, very differently. That's the simple equilibrium of nature. And in that sense, I would say that conferences, conclaves like the UEF, visionaries who come here and who inspire us and who inform us are essential. As I say, there are some things the government does well, there are some things that it doesn't do particularly well. Long-term vision, profound change is usually not in the nature of electoral politics. Electoral politics is very much an incremental, gradual approach. Therefore, I think this we are so happy to see grow in scale every year. And I know that as important as the UEF is, what gives me great joy, one of the reasons I have to rush immediately from here is that I'm next speaking as the inaugural chief guest at a joint association meeting of the Rajasthani Association of Tamil Nadu the Maheshwari Association and the Jain Association, and they are all actually, if you look historically, not native to Tamil Nadu, but they find the Tamil Nadu environment so conducive and so valuable that they have all made this their base and they contribute to our economy. That is the beauty of Tamil Nadu. We welcome all people of all faiths, of all backgrounds, and we all want to live harmoniously together. And as I repeat the thoughts of some of my earlier speakers, that plus our human capital will be the basis if we can seize the day, if we can make profound change, if we can focus on reimagining the education of our youth, then I genuinely believe that we are well within reach of 4TN for TN in 2047. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. As always, very erudite, pearls of wisdom coming through. And thank you for telling us from your experience in the US, where automation was there, people are afraid of jobs. But automation has contributed to prosperity. So may automation continue to contribute to the prosperity of the people. May our people contribute to the economy of Tamil Nadu. And may Tamil Nadu's economy contribute to the national stage as well as the global stage. Thank you. Sir, before we allow you to leave, if I can say that. But before we let you go on and do the other duties that you have been asked to, we request you to do one small favor for us. We would like to request you to unveil the launch of our startup pavilion of the Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council. I request the CIIC team to please join us on stage for the unveiling of the startup pavilion. I believe the chairman is here of the CIIC. This is where brilliant young minds get their space to make that dream a reality.